Hi, Louise.
Hello, Sharon.
Missed you at the social committee the other day.
I had a conflict.
Oh,
Hello, Betty.
having your lunch? Oh, sorry, you're on the phone.
I saw your friend Caleb.
Oh, did you? Is that your doctor?
Hmm?
I'm sorry, should I come back or you're? It's okay?
No,
Sorry, I couldn't make the meeting
Yeah,
or the,
I left you a return message, Jean. I'm not available Mondays.
oh, no, really? Okay.
Starting this coming Monday.
Oh, anytime this coming week.
Um,
Well, I can talk to you later. We don't have to take up everybody's time,
yeah, I've got a lot of time coming up.
just not Monday.
Right.
Okay. I'll look at my calendar and get back to you. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
this is Bradley's chat,
Oh,
eventually.
is it me?
Hmm?
They can hear me.
It's all right for you to be here. I hear.
You did a good job.
Thank you.
Louise, all I can see is the ceiling and the very top of your head. Now I can see your eyes.
See, it says Zoom TLG. Cubicle. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We should be muted though. There we go.
Are you allowed to
1:33.
bill?
Yes,
Oh, for being good?
for being good and nice hair. You want me to fix your camera? It's okay. Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
I don't need to be in the picture.
They want to see your face.
I do?
They
No,
do.
I don't.
No, they do.
Can you tip your screen down? Oh, that's good.
Oh, glad you like it.
In your pretty green top.
Have a good afternoon.
Thank
Okay,
you.
You're welcome. Bye now.
And you too.
Thank you.
What a pretty background.
Pacific Grove.
Oh. Beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Pat Smith, did you get the JPEG file?
I did, thank you. He's Johnny on the spot.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
It is good to see everybody. We will get started in just a couple of moments. So as we wait to get started, I've got a joke.
Oh dear.
Okay, hold on. Let me make sure I say this right. How do we know that dinosaurs can't speak? Nobody? Because they're dead.
Was that?
Repeat.
Oh, gee.
I don't know if it's worth repeating.
Don't leave your day job, Bradley.
Your kids must have been telling you jokes.
How do we know that dinosaurs can't speak? Because they're dead. Somebody said, please don't quit your day job. I tell bad jokes to reinforce that I shouldn't tell jokes for a living and that I should still be an executive director. Helps put my talents or lack thereof into perspective, I guess. Well, it's great to see everybody. Thank you for joining me for this chat today. And let's see, we've got about 20 people. We're also hopefully streaming live on TLG TV on channel 998. And hopefully, if all's working well, I don't know if anyone's in the lodge dining room, but if that TV is on, we should be streaming in the lodge dining room as well for residents to be able to join us that way. We'll go ahead and get started with a couple of quick updates. We, for the past about 2 weeks, we have been closed to non-essential visitors in the Grove. However, we have been given clearance to resume all visitors in the Grove in memory support. So we're open for visitors throughout the entire community at this point, which is good. We had recently, was it yesterday or a couple of days ago, one team member that works in the health center that tested positive for COVID-19. That team member is doing well. Team member is fully vaccinated. Last I heard, they weren't experiencing any symptoms, but I haven't gotten an update today. And due to the existing precautions that are in place in the health center, we can continue to allow visitors in the health center. At this time, there's a small section of the health center that's designated as Health Department of Health refers to as a yellow zone. And so if there are visitors that are visiting in what's classified as the yellow zone, there's some additional PPE requirements. But apart from that, visits as usual to the health center and the rest of the community. Also, recently implemented is a new protocol that all visitors anywhere to the community need to provide a proof of their COVID-19 vaccination. upon entering the community, or a negative COVID-19 test that was administered within 72 hours of the visit. There's one minor change, not to the precautions, but the implementation thereof. Previously, we were given direction that we would have to physically verify, see a physical copy or a digital copy of proof of vaccination for every single visit. We have since gotten that clarified that we don't need to physically see it every time. So if a visitor comes and they've given us if they've shown us proof of their vaccination before, then they will most likely not have to present it again for all of their visits, which I know is causing some frustration for some visitors and causing at times quite a bit of traffic at the screening station. So we've put together a list of everyone that has, as best we can, there may be some that we've missed, but that everyone that has shown us their proof of vaccination, visitors, and if they're on that list, they will not need to show us their vaccination card. And then those that are not on the list that come and show us their vaccination card, they will be added to the list. And so they don't need to show it every time. It is a good practice this day and age to always carry that card with you anyway, just in case it needs to be shown. A photo of the vaccination card is acceptable. So if you're visiting friends or family, just take a picture of their card on their phone and show that picture to the screeners. That would suffice. And as I mentioned earlier, if anyone doesn't have their vaccination card or they haven't shown it previously, or if they have not been vaccinated, then they would need to provide a copy of a COVID-19 test, a negative test result that was administered within 72 hours before the visit. I was reviewing our visitor logs yesterday, and I was reviewing the logs for all the visitors to the health center since we implemented the requirement to provide proof of vaccination, and then also the rest of the community since we started that requirement through the rest of the community. I don't have the total number of visitors that were screened, but it was probably a couple of hundred at least. And of all of those, there were 2 on the log that had shown a negative test result as opposed to a vaccination. So by far, the vast majority of the visitors, which is great, are vaccinated. The 2 that showed a test result, I don't know if they were vaccinated and just didn't have their card, which is certainly a possibility. But either way, the very, very, very vast majority of visitors are fully vaccinated, which is fantastic. There have been some questions about children and how we handle visiting children. We've clarified that with public health, and the same requirements of either a negative COVID test or full vaccination applies to everybody, including children. So if there are children under 12 that come to the community that obviously haven't been vaccinated because they aren't eligible to be vaccinated, we would need to see a negative COVID test for those visitors. Any questions on the COVID or the requirements that I have not addressed yet? Hey, if there are any, please let us know. We know that the guidelines, the precautions, the protocol are changing at a very rapid rate. So just make sure as best as you can to continue to read the community update letters as we send them out. And we will do our best to keep everyone as updated as quickly and effectively as possible. Let's see here, just going through my notes. There's a survey that we are hoping that everyone will complete. It's a survey on spiritual care. Essentially, we're currently in the process of interviewing and meeting with potential candidates to fill our role as a spiritual care director for the community, which is essentially the replacement for our position we previously referred to as chaplain, but will be referred to as our spiritual care director. And as we're going through that process, we want to make sure that we find a candidate that best meets the needs of our community, the residents within the community. And in order to best meet the needs of the residents, we want to do our best to know what those needs are. So there's a very brief 2 or 3 question survey that can be completed online that asks essentially about the religion or spiritual care preferences of residents of the community, so that we can make sure that we develop a program that will meet your needs. There's a link to complete the survey online on TLG Connect on the news feed. It was published a few days ago. Also, if you go to tlgjoin.com, www.tlgjoin.com, at the top of the page, there's a button to click on that will take you to the online survey. So, as I said, hopefully everyone will, or at least any residents, will be able to complete that survey. And if you don't have any religion or spiritual care preferences, we'd like to know that as well. So thank you in advance for doing that. Thank you to those that have already completed the survey. We don't have a deadline as to when we need them all back by, but we're hoping that we can get them back as quickly as possible. I've muted everybody. If you have any questions or comments throughout the chat, feel free to either send them through the chat or unmute yourselves and let me know. As some of you, or as most of you probably already know, we have a new on-site IT administrator or IT technician. Sangeeta is her name. And she's been with us for, let's see, a little over a week now. And she's already made a very positive impression on many team members and residents alike. And we're very happy she's on board with us. As many of you know, Gavin has been fulfilling resident IT requests for the past few weeks. As he has been with us. He is just here with us during the summer before he goes back to school. So this week is actually his last week with us. And so we're working on transitioning the resident IT responsibilities to Sangeeta as well as Kendall Bonnie. So Sangeeta and Kendall are going to be collaborating to ensure that resident IT needs are met in a timely manner. We're currently working on some minor adjustments to how that process works to hopefully streamline the process and make it easier for residents to be able to request IT support, and also allow us help enable TLG team members to be able to respond even quicker to your resident IT requests. So we'll probably have more information to share in the next week or so. But in the meantime, continue to submit your your IT requests either through the technology cube on TLG Connect or through the concierge, and we will make sure that they're addressed as quickly as possible. And let's see, on the subject of technology, we've also implemented and rolled out online ordering for to-go and delivery meals from dining services. And the system up until now seems to be working relatively smoothly with a few hiccups, but nothing that hasn't been able to be resolved in a somewhat timely manner. We're continuing to monitor that process to make sure that it's working well. So if you'd like to place an order to be delivered or for pickup, it is done through the dining cube on TLG Connect. If there are any residents, and there may be a few, but if there's any residents who are unable to access TLG Connect, but still have access to a computer, there is a workaround to be able to allow those residents to place their orders online, and to do so sort of bypassing TLG Connect. So it's a little bit more of a complicated process. The easiest way is to do it through TLG Connect. But if for any reason you can't access TLG Connect, but you do have access to a computer to place those orders online, you can reach out to Jerry Austin, Dining Services Director, and he can help you get set up to be able to order those meals online. Also, a quick update or a reminder, I guess. We're continuing to experience some supply chain challenges, particularly in our dining services department, but it's impacting some other departments as well, due to COVID-19 and all of the logistical challenges that it presents throughout the global market. We are experiencing some challenges of securing all of the supplies that we're used to purchasing through our traditional purveyors. And so we're having to make some adjustments. So you may have seen some adjustments to some of the menu items or some of the items available through dining services. We're also seeing an increase in costs of some of the supplies that we're used to ordering. Eggs, for example, is one that's huge. We're seeing an increase of over 10% for our eggs. Other meat products, especially, we're seeing some significant increases in costs, as well as some of the disposable items, containers, paper products. But we, for the most part, we're still able to get what we need, and hopefully those costs will go down over time, but we will have to wait and see. So thank you for your flexibility. If there are last minute changes, or if you order something in the dining room and we have to tell you, unfortunately, we don't have it. Hopefully that won't happen too often, The team's doing a really good job making those adjustments, but if it does happen, thank you, and we apologize in advance. Let's see, something that I'm not sure if everyone is aware of, but each month we have a newsletter called Living Well that is created by our therapy department. And it gives some healthy tips as well as some just fun information or word puzzles or games. We publish them to the news page on TLG Connect, so you can find it there. There are also printed copies available at the concierge desk. So if you're interested and you'd like to take a look, you can find it on TLG Connect or pick up a printed copy at the concierge desk. Wellness department, the wellness clinic, as of yesterday, is once again open for residents to stop in. No appointments are needed. And the clinic hours are every day, Monday through Friday, open from 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock, and then open again from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. So a couple of hours before lunch and an hour after lunch. Except for Wednesdays. Wednesdays, it's not open in the afternoon, so it's just 10 o'clock to noon, because Wednesday afternoon is when we do all of our team member physicals and physicals for new incoming team members in the wellness clinic. So feel free to stop in during those hours for any non-emergency nursing needs or questions that you may have. If you are experiencing any COVID-like symptoms, we kindly request that you don't come to the wellness clinic, but rather you contact the wellness department so that we can come to you to provide whatever support may be needed. Also, no significant updates or information about a third vaccination shot or a booster shot. We've informally, we've heard that a booster shot, a Pfizer booster shot may be authorized for general use on or around September 20th. But we don't know definitively. I think we won't know until it actually takes effect. And at that point, as I said, a booster shot will be, we anticipate will be available for the general population. We have been in contact with CVS, who provided our initial vaccination clinics here on site. And we're waiting to find out what their plans are, if any, to be able to provide on-site clinics for boosters. I anticipate we won't know for sure until the booster shots are authorized for the general population, general public. So we probably won't know until after that takes place, if and when we'll be able to have on-site clinics. But I know at least currently for those that are eligible for that third vaccination shot, for those that are immunocompromised, lots of the pharmacies are offering them. So we refer you there or to your healthcare provider for more information about your eligibility for a additional vaccination shot. Sandy's going on vacation, so just be aware. Next week from the 16th to the 23rd. I think she'll be away from the community. So if you have anything that needs to be addressed or discussed with Sandy, our resident services director, reach out to her before the 16th or after she gets back. If there's any urgent needs while she's away, please contact either myself or Christy McKinney, and we'll make sure that your needs are taken care of as best we can in Sandy's absence. We are in the process of replacing the vast majority of the interior lights throughout the community. And we are transitioning to a brighter and much more energy efficient LED lights throughout the community. I don't know where they're working today, but I know they've been doing work in the lodge for the past several days. I came in this morning and very surprised that the offices here are much brighter than they used to be. And so hopefully you'll see, if you haven't already, you'll see the benefits from that change. And we thank you for your patience and flexibility. If there have been some lights shut off intermittently, it's a pretty big project that we anticipate will take 6 to 8 weeks total. And I think we're about a week in now. And let's see, I think that's about it that I had on my list of items to go over. And so I guess we'll open it up to any questions, comments that you may have, or topics that you'd like us to discuss. If you have anything, feel free to unmute yourself.
I have a question, Bradley.
Yes, Shell, go ahead.
I have some expired medication, and it used to be that there was a particular day that you could take them down to wellness. Is that now any day that they're open, you can drop it by?
That is a very good question, and I do not know the answer to that. I would say the safest option is to contact the wellness department directly until we put something out, or you can just stop by. I would assume they could probably dispose of those at any time that the clinic is open, but I don't know definitively.
I'll check.
Okay, and we'll Sandy, do you happen to know any information about that?
Since let's see, let's see, before Lily we had John, and when John left, what happened is they've just been having the residents bring by any disposable medications that they want disposed of, and then if they can leave it with me, if the clinic is closed, and I bring it over. That's what's been happening lately.
Okay, so yeah, I would say just swing by the wellness clinic, and they should be able to take care of it. Also, actually, super exciting news. It's exciting for us. It won't have any impact or direct impact on the residents, but we've entered into a partnership with a new company called, I don't remember what it's called, but there is, we have quite a bit of medical waste that's accumulated, medications, sharps, syringes, needles, all that type of waste. And there's there's one giant company that handles all of that. And basically we just collect them over time, and then the company comes and they charge us a whole bunch of money and collect them and then take them to their disposal sites and then dispose of them. We've entered into a new agreement with a new company that provides a very innovative service that will be significant cost savings to the community, but more importantly, significant decreased environmental impact through that entire process. Essentially, it's sort of a, remember when we used to have trash compactors in your kitchens? It's essentially a trash compactor for medical waste. So there's this device that we have, and we put all the medical waste in there, and it melts it all down in a way that, I don't know, it works, and then sort of compacts it all into these little bricks. And then it does it in such a way that then it becomes safe to just dispose of that in regular trash bins. So it reduces the volume that makes its way eventually into the landfill, and significantly reduces all of the truck routes picking up all of that waste, and it makes it easier operationally as well. So we're going to be implementing that technology by the end of October. So again, it won't necessarily have any direct impact on any residents, but we're excited about it for the benefits operationally, and also the environmental benefits of that new technology.
Too bad that they can't take those bricks and build them into affordable housing.
Ooh, I like that. That may be phase 2. All right.
Bradley,
Yes. Oh, Ms. Tenney, you are muted.
No, I'm not.
There we go.
Will the new IT person have specific days that they're available for residents?
Good question. So as I mentioned, we're working through some of the logistics right now. Our goal is between Sangita and Kendall, possibly one or two others, we'll have somebody available to provide IT support any day. Well, not any day, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. And so we won't, I don't think we'll have specific hours or specific days, but rather we'll respond on the day that the requests are submitted, and then provide the support, make appointments if needed, to work around your schedules. We're also working on some changes company-wide to the way that we structure our IT department. Previously, or I should say up until currently, our on-site IT technicians have had some additional responsibilities beyond the terraces of Los Gatos. There will likely be some changes made to that, which will make it easier to provide timely IT support. That being said, with the addition of Kendall also providing resident IT support, we are confident that we'll be able to respond timely to all the needs.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's see. Anyone else have any questions, comments?
Bradley, it's Sandy.
Yep.
We had our CHP inspection of the bus and we passed with flying colors.
All right. Thank you for that update, Sandy. Actually, and that reminds me that, well, two things actually. Victor, as we all know, is a very good driver. He's also very good at telling jokes, better than I am. But he is also responsible for all of the ongoing and routine maintenance for all of our vehicles. And so Victor does a lot more than the driving and joke telling, both of which are very important. And so next time you see Victor, you could not only thank him for driving, but also for taking such great care of the vehicles here on campus. Also, speaking of inspections, on Tuesday this week, we had an unannounced visit from the California Department of Public Health. And they are starting to have unannounced visits to ensure that all healthcare and senior living communities are compliant with COVID-19 related precautions and requirements. So they came in on Tuesday. It was funny because, I don't know if it's funny, but I had literally 6.5 hours of Zoom calls scheduled on Tuesday, starting at 7:30 in the morning. It was fantastic. And so I decided I was going to actually do them all from my computer at home. And so I was on a Zoom call and at about 8:30, I got a text message that the Department of Public Health was here. I was like, okay. So I jumped in the car, but it was a great excuse to not have to sit through 6 hours of Zoom calls, or 6.5 hours of Zoom calls. So once I got to the community, things went well. Things were going well before I got to the community. And things were going well, and they continued to go well. And at the end of the day, they exited with us, letting us know that they were pleased with everything that they had reviewed, and they did not have any concerns. We haven't gotten the official report back from them yet. It usually takes a few weeks, but it seems as though all is well, and there was no deficient practices identified. So great job by the clinical team and all of those that are involved in that process. That is not the regular annual inspection that we have, which usually takes about a week. We didn't have one last year because of COVID. They had put a hold on all of them. Usually there's a window. Technically, it's a 6-month window when they can come, anytime from 3 months before their previous visit to 3 months after. But usually it's around November or beginning of December. Because we didn't have one last year, we don't really know when they're going to come this year. If they're going to follow the same schedule and come in November or December, or they could come anytime. Once they're here, and more importantly, once they leave after that inspection, we'll make sure that everyone is aware and share the results when we have them. Allie, our new director of nursing in the health center, is doing a fantastic job. She, if you don't know, she recently joined us about 2 months ago. She and her family moved to the area from Seattle, and she's doing a wonderful job and providing great leadership to our team up in the health center. We're in the process of recruiting for a new health services administrator. We have two fairly strong candidates. that we've had initial interviews with, and they're both continuing through the interview process. And we hope to be able to provide an announcement sometime in the coming weeks of a new health services administrator. Anything else specifically on anyone's mind you'd like to discuss? Well, I'll keep talking then. We are going through the budget planning process for 2022. We are well underway of going through that process, working with our on-site resident and advisory board, budget planning committee. So thank you to those that are involved in that process. Essentially what we are doing is working through all of our operational costs in working out our budget, what we anticipate those operational costs will be for 2022. Also working through what we anticipate occupancy levels will be in 2022 in all levels of living, and taking all of that information and determining what ultimately what monthly fees will be for all residents in the coming year. Obviously, there's significant challenges that we're facing as we're going through that process with labor increases, labor expense increases, increases in supplies, and pretty much all operating costs increasing at a rate typically higher than we typically see year after year. And so we're working through that process to figure out how we can mitigate those increasing expenses as much as possible. What we're will most likely do is be able to, because fortunately the real estate is very, very strong. The housing market is very, very strong right now. That will, we anticipate, allow us to increase our entrance fees at a rate a little bit higher than we typically increase year after year, to help offset some of those operational cost increases. So it's a little, we're in the midst of sorting through all of that right now. But I can assure you we're doing all that we can to make sure that we limit the fee increases as much as possible. That being said, it's a challenging time right now. So no more specific details available at this time, but sometime in the next couple of months, we'll have a formal budget presentation where we'll be able to share all of the information with the community at that time. Ruby.
Hi, I have a question. Do you have money in the budget to upgrade the dining rooms in the lodge and health center?
Very good question. And yes, actually have a meeting this coming Monday where we're going to be reviewing some pending projects, that being one of them. The lodge dining room specifically being one of them. So hopefully we'll have more information within before the end of the year. Maybe something that we're trying to figure out if we can get that done sooner rather than later. But it's definitely on the radar, and although not definitively scheduled, it's on our schedule of projects to complete soon.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions or topics anyone would like to discuss?
I just have a comment. I would like to tell you that we all appreciate the transparency of all of the information that you pass on to us. It's really a good idea to let us know what's going on, and I do appreciate it.
Thank you. I think it's important, and I think as a community, we all think it's important that we are as open and transparent as possible, even when the news is bad news. We do our best to share it as quickly and timely as we can. Thank you for that comment, Shel. There's a question that I received through the chat about solar energy. And that's a topic that we have scheduled to discuss, but that's unfortunately where we're at right now. We haven't, we've had some informal discussions about it, but it is something that we are hope to be dedicating some time and energy to getting into the details of what it would take and if and when that's feasible. But at this point, we haven't had those in-depth conversations yet. Ms. Kubarian, you have a question?
Hi, Bradley.
Hi.
There are a couple of groups with residents, like Duplicate Bridge and also the poker, where a regular member has been an outside person for, like, in our group, it's like 20 years that she's been coming in. Is there any chance that they're going to be able to rejoin the activities pretty soon?
Good question. I don't know the answer to that question, but I'll find out. In our regular calls and meetings with public health, that hasn't been discussed for a while. But we will reach out and see if we can get some guidance on that, if there's any updated guidance on it. Now that vaccination rates are increasing and
coming
much more widely available, there may be,
okay,
that may be permitted. We'll find out and let you know.
Thank you.
Let's see. There is a comment or question about a new computer in the library. And I don't know, I didn't actually know there was a computer in the library.
It's really old, Bradley. It's like over 10 years old.
Okay. We will look into that and see when we can get a new computer in the library.
Thank you. The librarians will be very happy.
Bradley,
Yes,
I have
Ruth.
a big question, and I don't expect any definitive answer, but it covers a lot of territory. Are you ready?
You know what? I think we're out of time, everybody. Thanks for joining.
Okay.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
It has to do with the apartment inspections that we had quite a while ago. And when folks came by, I only knew about my apartment and what went on. We had several things that needed improvement. And David and I never heard any feedback back from that, whether no one has talked to us about this. I don't know if that's happened across the board or what I don't know. I don't know. I know that lots of things were discussed, and yeah, you need something for your sliding door. Yes, you need something for your dryer. Yes, you need something for this and that, but nothing more was ever said.
Okay.
That's all.
Well, that's an easy one because the answer is thanks. I don't know an answer. What I can say, I'll follow up with our buildings and grounds team to see if we can get a sort of an estimated timeline on when the follow-up should be anticipated on those items. I would anticipate they're in the process of just going through each of them to get them all completed.
Yeah, I don't know what the answer is. So thought I'd bring it up.
We met, Vincent and I met with a gentleman a couple of days ago who we will most likely be hiring to join our buildings and grounds team, which will be an additional team member to help us get all of the buildings and grounds needs done. So we'll try to get some information and
I don't know if I'm the only one that hasn't had any feedback.
I saw one or two heads nodding as you were mentioning that. So I don't think you're the only one. I'll reach out to the buildings and grounds team and see what information we can share.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bradley, there was a question about TLG Connect that I got at the front desk regarding transportation requests and appointments. The question was, is a resident able to delete past appointments in TLG Connect transportation queue? I looked at it and I didn't seem that it was possible.
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that off the top of my head.
I've deleted with view all, and if you view all of them, I think you can delete them.
Bradley,
Yep.
at the side, there's a little trash can, and you click on opposite the one that you're talking about that you want to delete. And it's just like deleting email.
Yeah. The resident I was talking to said there wasn't anything that she could see, but I'll look into it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And also just as a reminder for transportation requests, as well as other requests for housekeeping or IT requests or for signing up for activities or events, that can all be done at the kiosk at the concierge desk as well. So just a reminder that that's available. If you use that kiosk, or if you have used that kiosk before and you use it now, yesterday there was a minor update to the configuration of that kiosk. So it'll look a little different and hopefully it'll look a little better and be easier to navigate. So just want to make sure everyone's available. Everyone knows that that is available at the concierge desk. Let's see. Sandy, any big exciting upcoming activities or events that we want to make sure everyone is aware of?
There is a picnic day that will be is scheduled actually for Wednesday, September 22. Unfortunately, I won't be here for the fun, but we'll have Mr. Frosty Ice Cream also coming on that day, and you'll have a hamburgers and hot dogs, things like that, that dining services will provide. And you will be using your meal points for that. It is a 2-hour event for the games that starts at 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Sorry. A notice about this will be distributed by Monday at the latest. And Evan and Dana are coordinating this event for you all for the RL residents at this time.
Okay, thank you, Sandy, for that information. Any other questions, topics, items that need to be discussed while we're all here together? All right, well, I think we will conclude a few minutes early. Thank you all for joining. Thanks for being the wonderful people that you are. I feel privileged to come to work at the Terraces of Los Gatos every day, primarily due to the wonderful team members and residents that we have here. So thanks for making our lives a little bit better. And hope you all have a wonderful afternoon.
Bye, all.
Thank you.